What is going on, guys? 821 Mayo here, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys and teaching you the right way to improve your KD in Rainbow Six Siege. Make sure you watch until the end of the video to find out the most important tips on this list. Tip number 1, you need to stop worrying about how many kills you're getting and start worrying about how many deaths you're getting. Often people always look at how many kills they're getting and see that they have a high kill count and think that's a good KD, but they rarely see how many deaths they're getting. If you go 10 and 8 in a ranked game, even though you have double digits in kills, you have almost the same amount of deaths as well. So even though you have 10 kills, your 8 deaths is bringing down your KD a lot. Dying this game is easy. It will in turn make your KD go up since you're already so focused on getting kills. Which brings me to my next tip, which is playing the better position to win more gunfights. Now before we carry on with the video, I quickly want to mention that half of you watching this video right now are not subscribed. Subscribing is free and you can always change your mind later. I also want to mention that I'm doing coaching, so if you guys are wanting a coaching session with getting help with things you struggle with, there's a link to the Patreon down below, and yes, I do coach console players. Moving on to tip number 2, I just mentioned playing the better position. If you focus on putting yourself in better spots and holding more favorable angles, it will lead you to not only getting more kills, but also dying less during games. So for example, vaulting onto an object to hold an off angle on a doorway or window will lead you to having the bigger stick in the gunfight. This is something that you should always think about in every gunfighting situation. And the best way to properly position yourself and be in the better position is playing off of information. This game is often 90% info and 10% reaction. Now you might make excuses and say, oh well, I solo queue and my teammates don't give calls. Sure, your teammates might not give calls, but at the end of the day, those are excuses to make yourself feel better in the mistakes you are making. There's always something you can do to put yourself in a better position. All you need is a little bit of info. I have a solo queue series here on my channel where I explain situations, my thoughts, and why I'm doing something. So if you guys think you'll like that, then I have 4 different seasons worth of solo queue games on my YouTube channel. Now something that I'll like is when you, the viewer, hits the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Here's a picture of some cats as a reward. No, but seriously guys, it takes 2 seconds of your time and is free, so if you learn anything from my videos, it means a lot to me. And it also means a lot to the YouTube algorithm. The almighty YouTube algorithm. Now moving on to tip number 3, ties into tip number 2 on this list. And tip number 3 is to play off of intel, not impulse. This is something that I've been bringing up a lot on my channel, and it's something that I feel almost anyone can benefit off of. I frequently see in a viewer VOD review or someone on my team just peeking something because it was an impulsive decision which will often get them killed. And I'm no perfect player either, and I make this mistake at least once a day. But what's important with this tip is that you and I are both aware of it and try our hardest to work on it. This is why intel is so important in this game. The difference of winning or losing a gunfight could be a missed call of someone crouched or standing while holding an angle. The next tip I want to talk about is understanding the value of your life. This is a very overlooked aspect when it comes to this game. People often underestimate themselves, which leads them to a lack of confidence, which we'll get to that later on. But for now, let's talk about this topic. The value of your life should always be a number 1 concern, not only when you play, but also when it comes to trying to increase your KD. If you understand how important your life is, the longer you stay alive, the more chances you'll have to get kills. Now I want to make it clear with this tip that you shouldn't be baiting your teammates for kills. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that you shouldn't just throw your life away because you got too excited. Which brings me to tip number 5, learning when you need to slow down and pump the brakes. This is another tip that I give players very often as well. It's not only understanding the value of your life, but to add on to that, learn how to stack getting 1 or 2 kills and then using that advantage to the max. I'm sure you or a teammate has gotten a couple kills in under 10 or 15 seconds and then decided to just walk into the site and die because you got too aggressive off of the momentum of the first 2 kills. This is what I mean by maximizing the advantage and also pumping the brakes. If you get 2 kills and then walk into site and die, you really only got 1 kill since you got refragged by the enemy. So instead of it being a 2 for 0 trade, it was a 2 for 1 trade. It's important that you allow the impact of the enemy losing 2 players to sink in. Don't throw that value away from your life just because you got momentum of the kills. This is what separates someone with a high KD versus someone with an average one. One understands how impactful getting 2 kills is, and the other one doesn't. The next tip I want to talk about is going to be to have proper pre-aim levels. Now I know, this is such a common thing that you hear over every single tip video, but the reason you hear it so much is because a lot of players don't do this. I'm not one for saying there's one thing you can do today to fix something or make you a better player, because that's not how this game works. But if you start implementing proper pre-aim levels today and start practicing it, it will have a dramatic impact on how many gunfights you win when you take them. When it comes to Siege and it having a one bullet headshot mechanic, if you're not taking advantage of this, then you're simply trolling yourself. There should be no reason you're not using this mechanic to your advantage. The biggest thing when it comes to winning more gunfights is where you land the first bullet, especially for my console viewers out there. If you're someone who's aiming at the ground and start shooting, the time to kill is giving the enemy the opportunity to react to you and kill you if they take advantage of you not shooting them in the head. So please, trust me, work on your pre-aim levels. The easiest way to learn and create a habit out of this is to firstly find a barricade on a single or double door. Find the top buckle on the side, that's the level for head height. To find crouch height, there's a buckle on the side in the middle of the barricade, find that, and just above that is crouch level. And if you still struggle with it, go into a custom game with Iana and stand next to doors so you can find them that way. Once you found the proper levels, go into T-Hunt or casual and consistently keep it in your mind to always have proper pre-aim. Do it over and over and over. Be conscious of it until you notice that you don't have to think about it anymore. On to one of our last tips on this list, I want to talk about being confident in yourself. This is one of the most common struggles between players, is that they're either too confident and it gets them killed, or they're not confident enough and it gets them killed. And I'm not going to focus on the people who are too confident because I already touched on that with the people who can't slow down and pump the brakes. So let's talk about the people who aren't confident enough. When it comes to lacking confidence, there's two ways to it. It's either you worry too much about the unknown or you worry too much about the known. Someone who worries about the unknown too much will lead them to focusing only on that and either miss a call or not see someone while droning, and it will get them killed. If you focus too much on the unknown, you will not be able to focus on the known things. And if you solely focus on the known, you will overthink and not allow yourself to understand everything that's going on around you. So you need to find the balance of not only knowing what you need to focus on, but also know how to tackle situations. Now that we understand how to be confident, let's talk about how to recreate this feeling. So to figure out how to recreate this feeling, when you're in a moment of confidence, whether it's in a ranked game or a whole session playing, when you're in that moment, remember what it feels like. Once you've done that, think about how you can recreate this feeling naturally. How many hours of sleep did you get? What did you eat before playing? Did you warm up or not? These are all things that could contribute why you had a moment of confidence. Everyone is different. We all have our own ways of going about things. Just make sure it does not get to your head. Now, the last and final tip in today's video is going to be that you understand that KD or having a high KD does not determine your skill. And if you do focus on it too much, it will lower your overall skill and value for the team. Playing only for your KD will get you lost in your head of it being the only thing you're worried about. You could on paper have a 1.8 KD, but bait your teammates and play for exit frags, and save your KD every round and provide no value for your team whatsoever. So please, when I'm saying this, don't focus only on your KD, as you will get lost and become even worse. Now that is going to wrap up today's video. If you guys enjoyed or learned anything new, make sure to leave a like, as it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Let's see if we can get this video to an even 50-50 split on like to dislike ratio. Yes, I'm telling you to potentially dislike my video, but it doesn't have any change anyway when it comes to the algorithm. I also want to mention that half of you watching aren't subscribed, so if you guys enjoy my content, then why not hang out for a while, huh? And lastly, I want to mention that I'm doing coaching, so if you guys are interested in a coaching session or a VOD review session, yes, there is a difference. There's a link to it down below in the description, as well as a link to my second channel and the Wichita Wolves, which I'm a content creator for. And as always, there's a link to the video's word-for-word script for my non-native English-speaking viewers. But with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, I hope you learned something new, and I will see you guys in the next video.